I'd like to call to order the June the 20th meeting of the Clearwater City Council. Our invocation this evening will be offered by Pastor Curtis Page from the Heritage United Methodist Church, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Mr. Albritton. Pastor.
Mr. Mayor, council members, please pray with me. Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting of this City Council. Lord, help us to engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of community. Fill us with your grace, God, as we make decisions that will affect this community. Continue to remind us that all that we do here today, all that we accomplish, is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of you, and for the service of humanity. We ask for your blessings of discernment and wisdom over each person here today. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Always a pleasure to have you here. Let me please remind you, if you have a cell phone or other device, to please silence it so that it doesn't go off during our meeting. And also let me remind you, please, that because we try to conduct these meetings in a civil and respectful manner, that audible or disruptive noises or sounds are not and should not be made. Please show each speaker the same respect you would want them to show you if you were speaking. With your permission, council, I'm going to change the agenda just for a second. We have a very large audience here with us tonight, and we had a fire here in our recycling plant that I think is an important lesson for all of us. And I know that most of y'all are going to probably leave after we have some of these presentations. I would like to ask Earl Gloucester from our solid waste department to please come forward and explain what happened and what each one of us can do at home to prevent this from happening again. Mr. Gloucester.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Earl Gloucester, Director of Solid Waste and General Services. The slide that you have up there is a fire that occurred at our recycling facility on May 28th of this year. The fire was caused by improper recycling of lithium-ion batteries. Lithium-ion batteries are in just about any electronics that you have, laptops, cell phones, radios. They're everywhere, and if you improperly dispose of them, this is one of the things that can happen. That shadowy figure up there trying to fight the fire is my controller, David Powers. Don't know what he was doing. Don't know why he did that. So there's another fire. Fortunately, no one was injured. There was no real damage to our facility, just some water damage and some soot. But improperly disposal of batteries or anything else can be hazardous. And the lithium-ion batteries, not only if they're penetrated or compromised in any way, they can start. And one little battery, one little dime-sized battery can do something like this. Because they create for one thing, they create their own atmosphere. They don't need oxygen or fuel. They create that on their own based on what they're made from, the materials that they're made from. And once they start burning, if there's a box of them, if they were to burn, they give off hazardous fumes. So that's hazardous to anybody around trying to fight the fire. That's hazardous for our firefighters as they come in and put water on it, and it creates these hazardous fumes. So we ask people to please recycle right. The things that we can recycle in our program are on the top of the blue recycling bins. If you have a question about what to recycle, please give us a call. Our number is 562-4920. That's the solid waste operations. And we can let you know whether or not what you're trying to recycle, what you're planning to recycle, is recyclable in our program. And if it's not recyclable in our program, we can give you some hints on where to take it. For instance, batteries, you might be able to you can take those to Batteries Plus up on US 19. I believe Best Buy will take them, and possibly Target will also take some electronics. So your blue recycling bin is not the place to recycle batteries, and anything else that you have a question about, please give us a call. Again, it's 562-4920, Solid Waste Operations, and we can help you out one way or the other, get you going in the right direction. And that's how it looked in all its glory as they were fighting it. you have any questions.
Mr. Gloucester,
Yes, sir.
also remind us once a month at I think it's the last Wednesday of the month?
Yes, sir. The last Wednesday of every month, we have, we accept electronics at our complex at 1701 North Hercules Avenue. All you have to do is, if you're a Clearwater citizen, bring proof of residency, and you can drop off your old electronics, old TVs, radios, whatever you have. We'll take it, and then we take it, palletize it, and it goes off to be properly recycled.
And also remind us about plastic bags and
Plastic bags is a contaminant. Please
Pizza.
do not put your recyclables in the container in a plastic bag. Dump the plastic bag. If you need to get rid of the plastic bag, throw it in your black barrel. If you want to use it again, fine, use it again, and then dump it. But please do not put plastic bags in your recycling bin.
and pizza boxes.
Or
We have lots
pizza
of
boxes,
students
or
here.
any food contaminated items in your recycled container, please. Only the things that we ask for, strive for 5, is on your recycling container. Again, if you have questions, please call us at 562-4920. Yes, sir.
Mr. Albritton.
Last time we talked, you were getting some new labels for
Yes, sir.
on top of the recycled containers that maybe the sun is bleached out or something. Do you have those available now?
We have those available. They're being distributed as we speak. As we can get out to neighborhoods, get them on containers, they are being distributed. Yes, sir. And it has to strive for 5. It has the 5 items that we can take in our program.
Very good.
Students who are here, what do we do with pizza boxes?
Now,
In the trash,
I'll recycle them and throw them away.
right? Okay, thank you, Mr. Gloucester,
Thank you,
appreciate
sir.
that.
Thank you.
And thank y'all, but I figured that was a lesson for all of us, and we appreciate your indulgence in changing our agenda just for a second. So now comes the highlight of why all of y'all are here. And I know I speak for Mike. Well, first off, let me introduce our council here. To my far right is Assistant City Manager Micah Maxwell.
Evening.
Our City Manager Bill Horn.
Evening.
Councilmember Bob Cundiff.
Hi, folks.
Councilmember Jay Poglaze.
Hello.
Councilmember David Albritton.
Good evening.
Our City Attorney Pam Aiken.
Good evening.
And our City Clerk Rosemary Call.
Good evening.
Councilmember Hamilton is traveling, and that's why he's not with us today, but he will be back the next time we meet. So now, one of the special programs that we have here in Clearwater is our Clearwater for Youth in conjunction with our Parks Department. And I know Jerry Gunderman is here, and also Casey Smith. Why don't y'all please come forward and join me at the podium for the introduction of these special guests that we have. Where's Casey? Casey, come forward. Are you head of, well, actually, this is your second year now, right?
Yes.
Great, congratulations. And Jerry, of course, is with our Parks and Rec Department. So for our Clearwater for Youth honorees, help me out here, Casey. They received our Youth Sportsmanship Award, and for their different teams that they participated in. They were selected by their coaches, by their peers, and we're just excited to have them all here to be recognized this evening. And we're starting with my favorite sport, Clearwater lacrosse. Oh, on this side, okay. And so now, you know who plays lacrosse an awful lot? What school? Okay. Johns Hopkins. Okay, so if you're going to do well in school, you can go to Johns Hopkins because they have one of the great lacrosse programs. This is Andrew Bauer. Bauer. Congratulations. Okay. If there are family members that want to come forward up here to take pictures, feel free to do so. And from the Clearwater Little League, we have Jackson Berglund.
Don't trip over that.
Are you getting ready to sign a contract with the Philadelphia Phillies? Maybe, okay, good, congratulations. From the Clearwater Chargers soccer team, we have Ashton Carboni. thinking about every question now. Are you watching the World Cup?
World Cup.
How much do you celebrate after you score a goal?
Not much.
Okay.
Not as much as the team. So.
Okay, good. Again, from Clearwater Lacrosse, we have Ellie Edwards. Did you watch any of the NCAA Final Four lacrosse tournament? Okay, we had Virginia and Duke, and who, are you gonna go to Duke? You're gonna be at Blue Devil? Okay, good, congratulations. I couldn't think of the other two teams that were there. Do you remember the other two teams? Yale was there, and what was the other one? Okay, I don't remember, Yale. For Countryside Little League, we have Hadassah Fisher.
Good job.
Okay, well, because you brought your own fan club, I'm not going to talk to you. Jamal Griffin is from our Blazing Ravens track club. All right, and what do you run?
I do shot putting.
Shot put, okay.
Yeah.
And how much does your shot put weigh?
4K, 12 pounds.
12 pounds. And you toss it how far?
My father's 35 feet.
My gosh. I'm glad I weigh more than 12 pounds. Sophia Hernandez is from our Clearwater aquatic team. So what do you swim?
Distance, and I'm a flyer, which means butterfly.
Oh, the butterfly. That's a hard stroke.
Yeah.
My gosh. Now, you know, Saturday, the Wounded Warriors are going to be at the Long Center. Swim, so it might be something you want to go by and take a look at. It'll be inspiring, okay?
Thank you.
Good, congratulations.
Thank you.
And from Clearwater Little League, we have Lanaya Kelly. It's pronounced Lena. I'm sorry. Okay. So what position do you play?
I'm a catcher.
You're a catcher. So who's your favorite catcher in all of baseball? Congratulations. From Countryside Junior Cougars, we have Josiah Madrishan.
Congratulations.
Are you a lineman?
Yep.
Okay. I can tell because it looked like you had your little shoulder pads already in. What position are you?
I'm left.
Left
I'm
hand?
left guard.
Left guard, okay, good. And your job, your main job is to do what as the left guard?
Block.
Block. Okay. To keep the guys from getting your quarterback and the running back. Very good. Okay, well, you must have done very well. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
From the Blazing Ravens Track Club, we have Samara Moses.
Good job. Be careful down there. Congratulations.
And what do you run or?
I shoot the 100 meters, 200 meters, 4x1, long jump.
Okay, so how fast do you do the 100 meters?
The 100 meters, my PR is a 13.81.
13.81, that's pretty good.
Thank you.
Wow, yeah, it takes me 13 minutes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Carmen Mascolina is with the Clearwater Lady Bombers. So y'all won all kinds of neat awards going around the state, right?
Some, yes.
What was the most recent one that y'all just got?
Well, I'm on a new team, but we just qualified for nationals in Alabama.
And when is that going to be?
The end of July.
End of July, okay. Do well.
Thank you.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Blake Stuba wants this to get over with so that he can get home and see who's going to draft first in the NBA draft, right? So where is Zion going to go?
Pelicans?
The Pelicans? Yeah, they've got the first choice, right? Okay, so are you going to follow him at Duke, or are you going to go to a good school like Davidson?
Probably Akron.
What?
My dad's from Akron, so probably Akron.
You can be a zip? Oh, jeez, okay. Congratulations. Okay. We have Jonathan Williams with the Greenwood Panthers. Did you come to the Outback Club? Because you're part of the Greenwood Panthers, and they won all kinds of titles last year, right? Okay, tell us about it.
Juniors, they win just about the whole season without getting scored on.
Without getting scored on?
Yep.
That's lots of goose eggs.
And
Very
then seniors, which the team that I was on, we had went all the way to the championships.
Fantastic. Congratulations. Right. So Cody Westbrook from the Clearwater Bullets Council and Cassidy Latsky from the Clearwater Chargers Soccer Club weren't able to be with us, but they also have been honored by Clearwater for Youth and our departments for the work that they've done. So again, Tom, why don't y'all all come up here close and we'll get a big group picture with everybody. Can we squeeze everybody in? Watch that cord there. Everybody? Okay. Right, let's do this. Everybody look to your left first, so that they think we're only looking at them. Now we'll look to the right, so that everybody thinks we're looking just at them. And now to the center. Okay. Thank y'all. Congratulations.
Good job.
Again, please join me in congratulating our youth sportsmanship winners. They set a good example for all of us. Next, I would like to call forward for our 30-year employee. I left my notes.
Mary Cressman.
Mary Cressman is a 30-year employee. Here she is. Hey,
Mary began her career with the city on June 26, 1989, as a Staff Assistant 1 in the Parks and Recreation Department. As the Parks and Recreation Department evolved, so did Mary's duties within the department, and she was subsequently reclassified as a personnel payroll tech on May 20th, 2000. Mary continued to learn, work hard, and avail herself of the educational opportunities within the city. The reward for all her hard work came in the form of a promotion to Senior Staff Assistant in the Solid Waste General Services Department, where she serves today. Mary's attention to detail has assisted her in many duties such as payroll, personnel processing, records retention, and travel coordination. As an additional duty, Mary has been a member of the Achievement Awards Committee for the past 13 years. She was also a member of the team that beta tested and selected the biometric time clocks in use throughout the city today. Because she is a pack rat and keeps emails with instructions, she was recently able to look back in her records and determine how to process military leave in the payroll system, which was a great help to another department. In her daily work, Mary has successfully integrated herself into nearly every aspect of the work being done at the solid waste department and has reliably supported everyone from solid waste workers and supervisors to the department's controller and director. Her years of institutional knowledge has made Mary an invaluable resource to the solid waste department and as a liaison to departments citywide. Mary has been a steady, dependable, and loyal employee with a truly kind spirit. Congratulations and thank you for 30 years of outstanding service to the city of Clearwater. Mary Beth.
Thank you. Watch your step, Mary.
You told me about that earlier.
Congratulations. Hope you didn't mind waiting for the kids.
No,
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are there any addition or corrections to the minutes of June the 5th council?
Move to approve the minutes.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes of June the 5th. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Any addition or corrections to the minutes of May the 14th, which was our special meeting on strategic planning?
Move approval of the minutes.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the special minutes meeting of May the 14th. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Are there any addition or corrections to the minutes of December the 3rd? Did we forget that
One was
one?
missed during the move.
Ah.
Slipped.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the minutes of December the 3rd. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Anybody from the public wishing to speak to an item that is not on the agenda? If so, we would ask that you would please come forward. Make sure you filled out a card with the clerk, and you would have 3 minutes to speak. We'd ask that you give us your name. You don't have to give us your address.
Hi, I'm Hannah Joseph, and I wanted to take a moment and thank the City Council for approving my application to interview to become the student ambassador for the Sister City Advisory Board, and I got it. It's really great. And it also allowed me to interview to become a student who goes on exchange, so that's next week, and we leave on Tuesday to go to Japan, and I'm really excited. And unfortunately, on the July 18th agenda for the next city council meeting, it's going to say that I'm resigning as a student ambassador, and I'm really upset. I'm upset about it, and I'm sorry, but I have to because I'm going on exchange to Taiwan for a year, and I look forward to coming back and trying to reclaim my title. Yes. And so I know that you're on the board with Jason Zelenak. Yeah, as the city chamber. And he is in my sponsor club, Clearwater Rotary Club. And so I just wanted to thank you, and I've had a really great time working with the other members on the board and also working with them in a different aspect as a student, especially with Pam Benton, which is really great. Having a lot of good experiences, and I look forward to sharing photos from our trip. Thank you.
Well, safe travels.
Thank you.
And we may not recognize you when you come back in a year,
Yeah.
so make sure you send us the photos.
Yes, it'll be on
Okay.
Facebook.
Thanks.
And I also have Rotary Youth Exchange cards if you guys wanted one. I can just give it to you now. Yeah, sure.
Oh, you could give them to the clerk and she can,
I'm almost. Okay.
thanks, and have a good trip. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Hannah's mom, Christina. So I just wanted to, I don't, do it, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
good. I'll be fast. I just wanted to thank you. As a mom, and she's amazing, and I don't clip her wings. I really just help steer her in the right direction, and I am genuinely grateful for the good example that I know the community sees, the ones that are paying attention, that sees a good example that this council, mayor, leadership, it flows, it flows down, and I appreciate it, and I'm grateful that I have 3 kids. She's the oldest, so obviously she's setting an example in her own right. So I'm very grateful that I can point her in positive directions, and there's a lot of opportunities where it's received in such a warm way. It seems like a natural extension when we found out about. We came to Comic-Con at this library, and then we saw the teachers with their desks that have gone on the trip to Japan, and essentially from inception to now, it's been very positive, and it's a living, breathing document, if you will. So Pam Benson, we grieve. Natalie Lamb is no longer, she's had to go where she needs to go, and but Candy Hayes, they're wonderful, and just I appreciate Hannah being able to see men and women doing such great things. We hosted we hosted Shu from Japan, the teacher. Our good friend Rika hosted Fu through Clearwater. Now we've also hosted Veronica through Clearwater Rotary from Czech, and soon we'll be hosting Lena from Finland. And so I don't know, we're just really appreciative. So thank you, and so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else from the public wishing to speak to an item not on the agenda?
Hi, good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm Zoe Gambell. I'm currently a student at St. Petersburg College in the Public Policy Administration program under the direction of Professor Jeffrey Kronschnabel, who sends his regards. I'm also working for the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, which is the career field I plan on coming into. So tonight I'm just going to be presenting on my capstone project. I'm in my final semester with public policy, and we're required to do a community collaboration where we work with whatever organization of our choice in the potential career field we're planning on entering. The specific one I chose was the 6th Judicial Court, Pinellas County Drug Court program. Myself and a student from the media team at the SPC College campus, we created a video with Judge Farnell that provided an example of judicial review. So instead of her being required to say the judicial review at every single review, which is about 10 minutes long, she's able to have that review playing on large media platforms while she's completing case file reviews inside of her chambers with her team. So it kind of expedites the process, and it doesn't have the members or the drug court participants and their families waiting out in the courtroom for the members of her board to come out and then do their review. So they kind of do everything all at once. In that video, there's also an explanation of her grading system, which is actually ranked A through D. And it's ranked, and the drug court members are able to rank themselves based on their participation and how they think they're doing in the program. So you'll sit in a specific section like A, B, C, or D, depending on how they feel they're doing in their program. So that's also explained so that while they're watching that video, they can move along their seats and see which position they think they're going to be presenting themselves to the judge for that day. I've chosen that because, like I said, I do plan on going into criminal justice, hopefully criminal justice reform, so I'm trying to get my feet wet in that. I'm still doing the project. My final presentation for Professor Kronschnabel and my board is going to be on July 9th, so if you guys have any tips or recommendations, I am open to them. Thank you.
Anybody else from the public wishing to speak to an item not on the agenda? If so, please come forward at this time.
I'm a local businessman in your community.
Again, we ask that you give us your name, sir.
I'm Charles White, and The issue that I was gonna bring up was that you've, before we go any farther else, sir, I'm gonna need you.
No, if you're going to give anything else, sir, give it to the clerk, sir, and she'll distribute it.
There you go. Each one you can have so you know who I am. I'm a licensed business in our community. And sent the city over here after 6 years, and I've lived on this road for 10 years. And I'm bringing this issue up to you about your zoning. I have my licenses here for 6 years, so you can look at them. They're all right here, they're all in a row, up to date. All right, and you're telling me to destroy my business because you have a new code enforcer, okay? I don't think that's fair to 10 businesses on my road. He said, well, we missed your road for 10 years. Why'd you miss my road for 10 years? I live in the community, and I've been living there, and I've been in business 7 years, so I would like to know why Mr. Daniel Kazman, sir, Mayor, Mr. Mayor, is so apt to ruin business people.
Speak
with
from the
small
mic,
business.
sir, so that
No,
people
this
can
is an
hear
issue.
you.
When I'm surrounded by business, ours the only road in the whole thing is between businesses, and every big 18-wheeler comes down our road. Nobody's bothered us for 10 years. There's 10 business people, roofing people, plumbers, handymen, movers, everything else in the whole issue, and this one road right here, now he's going to tell us to move everything. Well, what if we don't have the money to move everything, sir? You know what I mean? What if we don't have that, to do that at that moment that he's only going to say, well, Mr. Voigt, I'm only going to give you 4 weeks to move everything, and this is for you to all look at. You know what I mean? So why don't you change the
Again, sir,
zone
let me
on
ask
this
that you
on
speak
top of
from the
this
microphone so that you can be
issue?
heard.
It's not junks. It's not nothing. These are rat vehicles, and people are trying to get started. You're trying to, what as Mr. Trump said, was help the small businessman, but this person comes in from Chicago, he's 29 years old, and gets this new area and says, well, nobody's been over here for 10 years. And so, if nobody's been there for 10 years, well, why don't you skip it and let's go for another 10 years, and then everybody that lives there will either move or not. And this is one single road that's behind Home Depot. It's not like 10 roads or 12 roads.
Thank
It
you,
only
sir.
ends in a
Thank you,
certain
sir. Your
place.
time is up. We will have staff get in touch with you tomorrow and discuss it further.
Okay, yes, sir, and you have my card, and I
Yes,
really
sir.
appreciate that, and I would really
Thank you, sir.
appreciate
Your
council to
time is
please
up, sir.
review this with each other and have a
Thank you, sir. Your
conversation
time
about
is
this.
up. Thank you, sir. Your time is up.
Okay.
Anybody else from the
Sir,
public wishing to speak
thank
to an
you for
item that is
listening
not
to me,
on the
okay?
agenda?
Please address this issue. Because you're-
Again, sir, your time
you're hurting a
is
lot of
up.
new business people.
Is there anybody else from the public wishing to speak to an item that is not on the agenda?
Oh, I got a lunchbox that has a camera full of my business.
If there's nobody else to speak, I will close public comment and move forward to the consent agenda, items 7.1 through 7.14. Is anybody from the public or council wishing to pull an item off the consent agenda, items 7.1 through 7.14?
Move to approve consent agenda 7.1 through 7.14.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda, items 7.1 through 7.14. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Agenda item 8.1, Mr. Horn.
Thank you, Mayor. Approve the request from the owner of property address 19337 U.S. Highway 19, who is the applicant, to vacate a blanket utility easement as recorded in Official Records Book 5138, page 489 of the Public Records of Pinellas County, Florida, and pass ordinance 9277-19 on first reading. Mr. Burdette.
Good evening, Council. Robert Razak, Real Estate Coordinator.
The property owner requested that the city vacate a blanket utility easement previously granted to the city on applicant's property. As a condition of the vacation, the applicant will grant a defined replacement easement to the city. City stakeholders have reviewed the vacation request and have no objection. Questions?
Any questions of staff on agenda item 8.1?
Move approval.
Anybody from the public to speak to agenda item 8.1?
Move approval of agenda item 8.1. Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve agenda item 8.1. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Ms. Aiken.
Ordinance number 9277-19. An ordinance of the City of Clearwater, Florida, vacating a blanket utility easement as recorded in Official Records Book 5138, page 489 of the Public Records of Pinellas County, Florida, providing an effective date.
I move to pass ordinance 9277-19 on first reading.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to pass ordinance 9277-19 on first reading. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Agenda item 8.2, Mr. Horn.
Declare surplus for the purpose of sale through invitation to bid, 41-19, certain real property located in the vicinity of Overbrook Avenue and Pinellas Trail. Said real property legally described as that tract of land west of Lot 67, Block G of Sunset Point, Second Edition, and east of the railroad right-of-way, a subdivision according to the plat thereof, recorded in Plat Book 8, page 14, Public Records of Pinellas County, Florida, whereby the successful bidder will assemble this landlocked vacant lot with an adjacent property owned in fee title with an express prohibition against the parcel becoming an uneconomic remainder. Mr. Burzak again.
Thank you, Mr. Horn. The city of Clearwater acquired this landlocked vacant lot via foreclosure in December of 2018. Two of the three adjacent property owners to the parcel expressed interest in acquiring this lot to combine with their existing property. Current access to the parcel to a public street will require assemblage with adjacent owned lands. An independent appraisal was performed and it was determined the fair market value is $6,000. City staff for support the property surplus and recommend council's terms will require the successful bidder of the landlocked parcel be restricted to the adjacent property owners in fee title. Questions?
Any questions of staff on agenda item 8.2? Anybody from the public to speak to agenda item 8.2?
Move to approve agenda item 8.2.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve agenda item 8.2. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Agenda item 8.3.
Approve the 2019 Affordable Housing Inventory List pursuant to requirements of Chapter 166.0451 Florida statutes. Adopt Resolution 19-10. Mr. Lane.
Thank you. Chuck Lane, Economic Development and Housing Department. We are required by the state of Florida every 3 years to produce a list of city-owned properties that may be available for affordable housing. We've identified 19 parcels. Many of them are contiguous, so it really comes out to 13 total sites. The previous list contained 9 sites. The increase is due to our recent foreclosure activity. All the lots in the list are vacant land. Most of them are single-family home lots. There are a couple that are suitable for multifamily development. I'll take questions, please.
Any questions of staff on agenda item 8.3? Mr. Pogles.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate you providing the map. You're right, there are a lot of individual sites. So by identifying those sites, do we have a plan? Is there a strategy to actually be able to, or is it totally up to private investment? Do we have a plan, a marketing scheme to actually get affordable housing built on those sites?
There are a couple properties we're working on right now with developers. The purpose of the list is that we have it on our website, and it in itself is a marketing tool. Developers know it's available, they reach out to us, and we can surplus it, we can work a deal with them. We look at avenues and ways to produce affordable housing.
Would these lots, since they're single-family homes, several of them had been, are these lots, would they be available or possibilities for Habitat for Humanity properties? How does that exactly work?
Yes. Yes.
It would.
The CEO of Habitat for Humanity is very well aware of the lots. In fact, recently off the last list, we donated a property to Habitat for Humanity to build a home. And I anticipate that to be the case moving forward on this list.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Any other questions, council? Anybody from the public to speak to agenda item 8.3? Motion?
Move approval of agenda item 8.3.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve agenda item 8.3. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Ms. Call.
Resolution 19-10, a resolution of the City of Clearwater, Florida, determining the city holds fee simple title in and to 19 parcels of land lying and being situate within its corporate limits that are appropriate for use as affordable housing as defined in section 166.0451 Florida statutes, establishing an inventory list of said parcels, providing an effective date.
Move to adopt resolution 19-10.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to adopt resolution 19-10. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Agenda item 8.4, Mr. Horn.
Amend the Clearwater Community Development Code, Section 5-1002, changing the composition of the Public Art and Design Board to include a representative from the Clearwater Arts Alliance, Inc., and a representative from Creative Pinellas, and pass ordinance number 9249-19 on first reading. Mr. Hubbard.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, council. I'm Christopher Hubbard, Cultural Affairs Coordinator for the City of Clearwater. This is an update to the language in the code for the Public Art and Design Board, changing from the Pinellas County Arts Council, which was moved out from the county and no longer exists, to the new county-designated local arts agency, which is Creative Pinellas. The other reflects a name change from the Clearwater Arts Foundation to the Clearwater Arts Alliance.
Any questions for staff on agenda item 8.4? Anybody from the public to speak to agenda item 8.4?
Move to approve agenda item 8.4.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve agenda item 8.4. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Ms. Aiken.
Ordinance number 9249-19, an ordinance of the City of Clearwater, Florida, amending section 5.1102, 5-1102, Clearwater Community Development Code, changing the composition of the Public Art and Design Board to include a representative from the Clearwater Arts Alliance, Inc. and Creative Pinellas, providing an effective date.
Move to pass ordinance 9249-19 on first reading.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to pass ordinance 9249-19 on first reading. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Agenda item 8.5, Mr. Horn.
Approve the annexation, initial future land use map designation of residential low, RL, and initial zoning atlas designation of low medium density residential, LMDR, district for 3040 Terrace View Lane, and pass ordinances 9279-19, 9280-19, and 9281-19 on first reading. Ms. Motzke.
Good evening, Lauren Maskey, Planning and Development. This is a voluntary annexation for sanitary sewer service of a single-family property. It is located within an enclave and is contiguous to city limits to the south. The annexation is consistent with the county-wide plan, the city's comprehensive plan and community development code, as well as Florida statutes governing annexation. The Development Review Committee has reviewed this application and is recommending approval.
Any questions for staff on agenda item 8.5? Anybody from the public to speak to agenda item 8.5?
Move approval of agenda item 8.5.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve agenda item 8.5. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Ms. Call.
Ordinance number 9279-19, an ordinance of the City of Clearwater, Florida, annexing certain real property located on the north side of Terrace View Lane, approximately 500 feet west of North McMillan Booth Road, whose post office address is 3040 Terrace View Lane, Clearwater, Florida, 33759, into the corporate limits of the city and redefining the boundary lines of the city to include said addition, providing an effective date.
Move to pass ordinance 9279-19 on first reading.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to pass ordinance 9279-19 on first reading. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Ms. Aiken.
Ordinance number 9280-19, an ordinance of the City of Clearwater, Florida, amending the future land use element of the comprehensive plan of the city to designate the land use for certain real property located on the north side of Terrace View Lane, approximately 500 feet west of North McMullen Booth Road, whose post office address is 3040 Terrace View Lane, Clearwater, Florida 33759, upon annexation into the City of Clearwater as residential low, RL, providing an effective date.
I move to pass ordinance 9280-19 on first reading.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to pass ordinance 9280-19 on first reading. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Ms. Call.
Ordinance number 9281-19, an ordinance of the City of Clearwater, Florida, amending the zoning atlas of the city by zoning certain real property located on the north side of Terrace View Lane, approximately 500 feet west of North McMullen Booth Road, whose post office address is 3040 Terrace View Lane, Clearwater, Florida 33759, upon annexation to the City of Clearwater's low, medium-density residential LMDR, providing an effective date.
Move to pass ordinance 9281-19 on first reading.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to pass ordinance 9281-19 on first reading. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Agenda item 8.6, Mr. Horn.
Provide direction on the proposed development agreement between East Shore International Enterprises, LLC, and 411 ES, the property owner, and the City of Clearwater, providing for the allocation of 8 units from the Hotel Density Reserve under Beach by Design, and confirm a second public hearing in City Council chambers before City Council on July 18, 2019 at 6 p.m. or as soon thereafter as may be heard. Mr. Perry.
Thank you. Mark Perry, Planning and Development. The site consists of 4 parcels with 3 on the east side of V Shore, 1 on the west side. The proposal is to remove any existing structures that are still on these parcels and construct a 74-unit hotel. That equates to 66.367 units per acre. That includes 55 units otherwise permitted by the underlying land use. The 8 units from the reserve, which are the subject of this board. And an additional 11 units the applicant proposes to transfer to the site through a level 2 flexible development application. In addition to the hotel, the project also includes a 57-slip marina with 22 slips which will be available to the general public and 35 slips that will be available only to guests of the hotel. That means that there'll be 2 uses on the site, marina facility and overnight accommodations. This is a limited use hotel, no meeting rooms or convention center or anything like that, no restaurants. As part of the proposal, the height will be 65 feet, which is permitted in the Marina District. To get to that height, where the maximum permitted height is 85 feet, they're proposing 65 feet. The proposal does include a boardwalk which extends along the east side of the site for the entire site. Also includes a publicly accessible walkway along the south side of the site, providing access to that boardwalk. This development agreement has a few extra parts to it. It does include some specific language to limit the types of activities with regard to the marina facility. It will prohibit things such as servicing, fueling, pumping out, commercial chartering, dry storage, and the publicly accessible slips will be for sale and lease to privately owned boats rather than commercial vessels. And there's also some specific language in the development agreement pertaining to the boardwalk as well. With regard to the Community Development Code, based on the submittal, they'll have to go through a level 2 flexible development application. The conceptual site plans and conceptual elevations appear to be consistent both with the Marina District and the design guidelines of Beach by Design. And they have met all the requirements to be considered eligible to receive units from the reserve. If there are any questions that I can try to answer, I'd be happy to.
Questions for staff on agenda item 8.6, Mr. Pogler.
Thank you, Mayor. 8 from the density reserve, which will then basically disband that reserve. It's going to be empty at the
Well, it'll
latter
be at
date.
0. Not to say that a previously allotted unit couldn't be returned.
Right, which brings me to my next question. The 11 that are being transferred in, what project are those coming from?
Those would be transfer development rights, development rights that are available on the open market. It's important to remember that to do a transfer of development rights on Clearwater Beach, those units have to come from some other property that hasn't used those units. Now, those units cannot come from any project that's had units allocated to it from either the now defunct pool or the close to defunct reserve.
So do we get to know where those 11 units came from? Who they were? Who has the development rights that are not building that are giving them to? Do we get to find that out?
As soon as they submit their level 2 application.
Okay.
So, but that's a couple of 3 catches. One that has to come from a property within the beach by design planning area. They cannot come from any project that's been allocated units from the pool, nor can they come from any project that's been allocated units from the reserve.
So final question. How many projects out on the beach still has units that they're not building? How many dormant projects do we have, and how much longer are they sitting out there?
Well, that's difficult to know without doing a full analysis of every property in the beach by design planning area. It could be from a property that has a retail store on it, and they've been developed at an FAR of 0.15, where they're entitled to an FAR of 1. So that property would have excess development rights that could be transferred off. So I don't have an answer to that.
Well, the only reason I'm pursuing this is because someone could come up and go, how much longer is development going to take place at Clearwater Beach? How many are left? How many units are left? How many still can be transferred in? Aren't we pretty much built out? There's not that many vacant lots left out there.
Well, it wouldn't be a matter of transferring units in. Any units that would get transferred to this site are already on the beach. So it's getting transferred within, not to.
Okay.
So it's development potential that's already there.
Okay. Something that could have been done just hasn't been done yet.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Mayor? I'm sorry.
Mr. Dell?
If I could, I just want to let the council know, I've chatted with Bill, and we've talked internally for some time ago, including in planning and development, about coming back to talk to you about what is in the reserve, what we may get back through existing development agreements, and maybe revising given that we're down to the wire on a lot of these units, talking to you about a specific strategy for how to, what we may get back and how we might want to look at allocating those back out. So I think some of that discussion would answer some of the councilman's questions.
It would be helpful to know that. Thank you.
Mr. Cundiff?
Yes, I have 2 questions about the boardwalk. Is it going to be a public boardwalk or private?
Public, absolutely. That's a requirement, absolutely.
All right, and will there be fishing allowed from the boardwalk?
I don't think so. I would leave that up to Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec has a manual of how they want it built and how it's going to be maintained. Once it's built, the maintenance will transfer over to the Parks and Rec department. I don't know the answer to fishing. But I can find out.
Is anybody from Parks and Rec still here? Any other questions, council? Explain to us the parking for the marina.
Sure. A total of 100 parking spaces are required for this project, and that includes 1.2 spaces per unit for the hotel and 1 space per 2 slips for the publicly accessible slips. They're providing all of their required parking. The one parcel that's on the west side of East Shore will contain 43 parking spaces, and that's a surface parking lot. That is not a structured parking lot, it's just a parking lot. The remaining 57 spaces that are required will be under the building. So the building will go over those parking spaces. The slips that are available only to the guests, they don't require their own parking because they're an amenity for the hotel.
Okay, but I guess I was more concerned about the public slips. Obviously, if I'm a resident at the hotel, and using a boat slip, I'd probably come with my boat as opposed to my vehicle, because there's not going to be any way that you can launch your boat from here, correct?
Not unless you're using one of the publicly accessible slips, but conceivably if you're a guest and you're using the slip, then you probably didn't drive.
So their parking lot is going to be big enough to take care of my car and a trailer, my boat trailer?
No, there's, I don't believe so. I'll let the applicant speak to that, but there aren't any spaces that are designated as trailer spaces, no.
So then I'm not going to be able to go launch my boat and then bring my vehicle to the hotel?
No, it's not a launching facility either. There's no boat launch there. There's just slips. So if somebody's leasing a slip, I presume that they've launched it elsewhere. There's no ability to...
If I'm a guest at the hotel, I'm saying if I'm a guest at the hotel, you said, well, you could go launch your boat.
So you could use your, well, no, if I said launch, I misspoke. There's no boat launching component.
Right, but I could go to some other boat launch.
Rec center.
At the rec center, yeah. I was trying to think where it was. At the rec center to get my boat over to the hotel and have somebody else drive my vehicle with the trailer to the hotel.
Probably leave it there with the trailer at the launch.
I don't know if there's parking available at the boat launch. I don't think that there's any trailer spaces, but I'll leave that to the applicant.
Maybe Gina's, am I confusing the issue too much?
No, I think maybe, and the applicant could probably better address that, perhaps the intent is to have people bring their boat to stay at the hotel so that you don't have someone necessarily trailering their boat. So that's an option.
That would be my hope, yeah. But I was just wondering what would happen if we decided to trailer over. Yeah. Okay.
You'd have to pay overnight fee like at Seminole Boat Dock and lock everything up there.
Then the other, I did not see in this, in case of a hurricane warning, and I didn't see the language in here on the evacuation that they have to vacate the hotel. Have I missed that?
Should be in there.
That's a requisite to units out of the reserve, so it's not an option.
That's not negotiable. I mean,
But I didn't see it in the agreement. That's what I'm saying. Have I missed it?
I'm sure it says I need to follow.
Exhibit C should be in there. That's the covenant regarding hurricane evacuation, et cetera.
Okay, as long as it's here. I didn't go into the exhibits, so as long as it's there. I was just looking at the sections.
Yeah, it should be in there. I'll double check and make sure that it is, but that's not negotiable.
Mayor, it's section 6.1.3.3.
Section 6.1.3.
6.1.3.
Oh, I see, okay.
It's small.
Yes, yep, okay. Thanks, I just missed it. Any other questions then, council? The applicant is here.
Good evening. My name is Jack Bodziak. I'm an architect, and I'm representing the owners of this. I'm the agent in this. To answer a few of your questions, without going back over some of the facts regarding the actual facility, our primary request is to your approval of use of the 8 density reserve units. However, to go to your issue about the boating, I've developed or been involved in the development of about 14 marinas around the state. And I think that what you have to recognize is I think there will be adequate parking for people coming in to use the public slips, because the usage, unfortunately, for marinas is exceptionally low. You'll find that that 4th of July weekend is the biggest weekend in marinas, and it's less than 20%. It actually runs from 14 to 16%, 17% usage. We have one parking space for every 2 of the public spaces, which are 22. So we have 11 spaces. So we will, I believe we will have some available spaces on site. Most of the boats that are going to come in are not going to be trailered in. They're going to be come in from elsewhere. We're hoping to encourage use of the hotel primarily as a family hotel. The suites are mainly geared towards a family usage. We would hope that the people would come in and take advantage of the hotel with their kids, come by boat, which is a pretty common occurrence. We did a lot of work with Marina Jacks, for example, and most of their transient boats come in, go to the hotels in the area if they're staying overnight, or stay, if it's a bigger boat, naturally they stay on the boat. But I believe that, I don't believe we'll have any issue with that. I wish that the parking requirement were less, because actually we have to provide, we'd like to provide more public slips if possible. We are going to build the boardwalk at our cost for the public use. We do have public access to it. We think that's a great asset that will tie that entire marina area together. We are a major portion of that marina area, and we really would love to have more availability. And I won't, I know we can't get into it now, but I think if the parking requirement were a little less, I think we'd be able to make more slips available to the public, which I think would be really beneficial to the city in a lot of ways. So at some future date, I'll come before you and discuss that. I don't want to get into that tonight, and it's really irrelevant tonight. But I do think that I'd love to, somehow we would love to find more parking available to allow more public use of the slips. With the 22 slips that we have in the marina, if you get double the typical use of the public slips, available slips, that what you typically have, you'd have 30%. So you would have about maybe 6 or 7 slips that would be used if you got double the activity. So you can see the 11 that we have available, it will allow for some available slips that could be used. Anybody coming into the hotel by boat, also to the boat section of the marina, to the hotel section of the marina, would naturally not probably have a car with them. You will get people that transient will come in to the hotel by boat from surrounding areas, make a weekend of it with their family. I think the as staff has said, we put this in because we felt like it was a great amenity. We didn't take advantage of the 80-foot height fully at all, and I think that our whole intent was to try and create a really nice marina environment there for both public use and guests of the hotel. And I would hope down the road I'll come before you and we'll discuss maybe the parking arrangement. That I think there really will be some extra parking spaces there, based on my experience. And as I say, I've done about 14 marinas around the state, from 2 in Key West and all the way up the coast. So, any other questions I would be glad to answer them at this time.
Okay. Nope. We're fine.
Thank you very much.
Anybody from the public wishing to speak to agenda item 8.6?
Motion to approve agenda item 8.6.
Second. Motion has been made and seconded to approve agenda item 8.6. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Then we'll have our final reading on this on July the 18th at that meeting at 6 o'clock. Agenda item 9.1, the second reading. Ms. Aiken.
Ordinance number 9296-19. I got the right one? I do. An ordinance of the City of Clearwater, Florida, declaring, establishing, and imposing a temporary moratorium on the offering for hire or operation of motorized scooters and micro-mobility devices, or issuance of any permits or franchises pertaining to mobility hubs for a period of 180 days in order to allow an opportunity for the city to develop regulations for such uses in the city rights-of-way, providing an effective date.
Move to adopt ordinance 9296-19 on second reading.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to adopt ordinance 9296-19 on second reading. Anybody from the public to speak to this motion? Comments, council? Ms. Aiken
Yes, sir.
or staff? The governor just signed a law that says you can drive these on the roadways now.
And the whole purpose of the moratorium is to keep the status quo. If we had not enacted the moratorium, do not enact the moratorium, then it's going to be a free-for-all, and this is just to give staff and council time to consider what regulations they want to put in place.
So that means that I could take one of these little scooters and ride them on the Memorial Causeway, even though there's a trail on the side that would be a whole lot safer to use.
The bill as signed, it gives electronic scooters all the rights and duties of a bicycle. So anywhere you see a bicycle, anywhere a bicycle can go, a scooter can go.
Unless we, in our regulations, say otherwise.
Correct.
Okay. So that's something else for us to keep in mind as we go
So
forward.
it's happening now until we come up with policy.
Well, it's not going to happen for 6 months.
It's not going to happen.
If you enact the ordinance.
We are putting a moratorium on it if you pass the ordinance
Okay.
But
for our jurisdiction.
But in our regulations, if we don't say you cannot drive or operate this e-scooter on the Memorial Causeway, somebody can do it.
Okay.
Correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. So that's something that we're going to need to start thinking about. Or US 19 for that matter.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Motion has been made and seconded. Nobody from the public wanted to come forward. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Agenda item 10.1, Ms. Call. Or no, Mr. Horn. I'm
Amend
sorry.
the city's fiscal year 2018-2019 operating and capital improvement budgets at mid-year and pass ordinances 9293-19 and 9294-19 on first reading.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Kayleen Castle, Budget Manager. This is the mid-year budget review for fiscal year 2018-19 budget. I went over the report with you on Monday, but I'd be happy to answer any additional questions you have.
Any further questions on, excuse me, on agenda item 10.1? Anybody from the public to speak to agenda item 10.1?
Approval of agenda item 10.1.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve agenda item 10.1. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Ms. Call.
Ordinance number 9293-19, an ordinance of the City of Clearwater, Florida, amending the operating budget for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2019 to reflect increases and decreases in revenues and expenditures for the general fund, special program fund, stormwater fund, gas fund, and parking fund as provided herein, providing an effective date.
Make a motion to pass ordinance 9293-19 on first reading.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to pass ordinance 9293-19 on first reading. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Ms. Aiken.
Ordinance number 9294-19, an ordinance of the City of Clearwater, Florida, amending the capital improvement budget for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2019 to reflect a net increase of $145,045.
I move to pass ordinance 9294-19 on first reading.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to pass ordinance 9294-19 on first reading. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Agenda item 10.2, Mr. Horn.
Accept a utility easement from Bayside Apartments owner LLC for the construction, installation, and maintenance of city utilities on real property located at 19337 U.S. Highway 19 North, Clearwater, and adopt Resolution 19-13. Mr. Burzak.
Good evening again. Robert Burzak, Real Estate Coordinator. As a condition of the vacation ordinance 9277-19, the applicant was required to grant a defined replacement easement to the city. The city engineering department recommends acceptance of the easement.
Any questions of staff on 10.2? Anybody from the public to speak to agenda item 10.2?
Move approval of agenda item 10.2.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve agenda item 10.2. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Ms. Call.
Ordinance number 19-13, a resolution of the City of Clearwater, Florida, accepting a utility easement from Bayside Apartments Owner LLC for the construction, installation, and maintenance of city utility facilities, providing an effective date.
Move to approve. Move to adopt resolution 19-13.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to adopt resolution 19-13. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Agenda item 10.3, Mr. Horn.
Accept a 35-foot utility and drainage easement from Duke Energy Florida LLC for the construction, installation, and maintenance of city utilities and drainage on real property located in Duke Energy right-of-way west of Spectrum Field, and adopt resolution 19-14. Mr. Burzak.
The proposed easement will provide the city with property rights necessary for the construction, installation, and maintenance of city utilities and drainage with an easement that will support a new city transfer station and the Phillies Carpenter Complex at Spectrum Field. The city engineering department recommends acceptance of the questions.
Any questions of staff on agenda item 10.3? Anybody from the public to speak to agenda item 10.3?
Move approval of agenda item 10.3.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve agenda item 10.3. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Ms. Aiken.
Resolution number 19-14, a resolution of the City of Clearwater, Florida, accepting a drainage and utility easement from Duke Energy Florida LLC for the construction, installation, and maintenance of city utility facilities, providing an effective date.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we adopt resolution 19-14.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to adopt resolution 19-14. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Agenda item 10.4, Mr. Horn.
Amend the Clearwater Code of Ordinances, section 2.453, miscellaneous provisions, adding subsection G, missing benefit recipients relating to the Clearwater Firefighter Supplemental Pension and Retirement Plan, and pass ordinance number 9297-19 on first reading. Chief Ellis.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Scott Ellis, Fire Chief, Clearwater Fire Rescue. The item before you is to amend the ordinance of the City of Clearwater's Firefighter Supplemental Trust Fund. This request is to add the language regarding missing benefit recipients as listed and outlined in your packet. This is a companion request to ordinance 9278-19, recently submitted regarding the Police Officers Supplemental Pension Trust Fund. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of staff on agenda item 10.4? Anybody from the public to speak to agenda item 10.4?
Move to approve agenda item 10.4.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve agenda item 10.4. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Ms. Call.
Ordinance number 9297-19, an ordinance of the City of Clearwater, Florida, relating to the City of Clearwater Firefighter Supplemental Trust Fund, amending the Clearwater Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Administration, Article 5, Division 4, Firefighters Pension Plans, Subdivision 3, Supplementary Pension and Retirement Plan, amending Section 2.453, Miscellaneous Provisions, providing an effective date.
I would move to pass ordinance 9297-19 on first reading.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to pass ordinance 9297-19 on first reading. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Agenda item 10.5, Mr. Horn.
Authorize an agreement between the City of Clearwater and Forward Pinellas to receive a Complete Streets Concept Planning Grant in the amount of $50,000 to prepare a Complete Streets Concept Plan for Fort Harrison Avenue from Bel Air Road to the merge of Myrtle Avenue, alternate US 19, authorize the appropriate officials to execute same, and adopt resolution 19-09. Mr. Hartman.
Good evening. I'm here to present the Fort Harrison Complete Streets Grant, asking for approval of the agreement for Pinellas to accept $50,000, which the city will match with $25,000 of cash and $25,000 of in-kind services to develop complete streets concepts that will help improve the transportation and mobility along Fort Harrison and other corridors from Bel Air up to the merge, connecting 3 major activity centers and some long-standing communities, neighborhoods that are adjacent to the corridor. If you have any questions, be happy to answer them.
Questions for staff on agenda item 10.5? Anybody from the public to speak to agenda item 10.5? Motion?
Move to approve agenda item 10.5.
Second?
Motion has been made and seconded to approve agenda item 10.5. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Ms. Call. Oh, it's Ms. Aiken.
Resolution number 19-09, a resolution of the City of Clearwater, Florida, approving an agreement as attached in Exhibit A between the City of Clearwater, the city, and Ford Pinellas accepting a Complete Streets Concept Planning Grant to develop a concept and design plan for Fort Harrison Avenue from Bel Air Road to the merge with Myrtle Avenue / alternate US 19, providing for an effective date.
I move to adopt resolution 19-09.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to adopt resolution 1909. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Agenda item 10.6. Mr. Horn.
Approve the Complete Streets for Clearwater implementation plan for the City of Clearwater and adopt resolution 19-08. Mr. Hartman.
Good evening again. Here to present the Complete Streets Implementation Plan and ask for your acceptance of the plan. This has been over a year in the making, and one of the primary motives for this is improving mobility and making our streets serve all people with greater function, but it's because the streets represent almost 1/3 of the public space in the city typically. And so part of this is to make full use of, make sure that we're using the public space for the public. You know, as you'll hear from Jared Schneider, Kimberly Horn, our consultant on this project, and as you well know, we have a lot of different streets, a lot of different forms of travel being used. And so this gives us the opportunity to apply different contexts and different flexible designs based on what the land use contexts are and what the road characteristics are. So I'm hoping you'll approve this. Jared Schneider will present a brief presentation on this, but I think it's a great chance for us to move forward with our mobility, our transportation network, and apply these designs in the Fort Harrison concept grant that you just approved a minute ago. So after Jared speaks, or if you have any questions, feel free. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? We have the presentation from Monday's city's work session. Wanted to give you the option if you wanted us to go back through that or not at this point.
We need the policy. I'm good. I mean, at least I don't let the public know where it is so they can see it.
Do you want to sort of summarize?
I can go through it fairly
No, not
quickly.
go through it. Summarize.
Summarize what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, show us a couple of your charts that deal with the plan and not complete streets in general.
Sure. Yeah, I really think with the plan, what we're trying to do is I like this slide in that we're trying to plan for all of our streets. You know, moving traffic is important, but it's really trying to to look at our streets as a, you know, really a public entity. As Rick said, we have 25 to 35% of all of our real estate in our city is you know, public space on our streets. So to kind of summarize, moving to the plan, we talked about safety as a, you know, really key component. We keep hitting on that because of just the fatalities and incapacitating injuries that are around our city. The economic aspect is also key. So to kind of summarize, we're in the top 10 for safety. That's why we keep hitting on that. We're getting better. DOT is using complete streets in their design, and that's what we're going to show here with how we design our streets in the city. This is how DOT does business nowadays. This is showing basically the top 20 metro areas in the entire state of Florida have complete street policies. There's over 1,400 policies throughout the country. So I'll keep going through these again. These are kind of the key numbers we hit on. 52 lives were lost in Clearwater in the last 5 years, with 450 people suffering life-altering injuries. So here's some of the locations we see quite a bit: US 19, Belcher, State Road 60. To summarize part of the plan, what we have are guiding principles. Again, we hit on the safety and comfortable travel, but really we're trying to talk about economic vitality. So these are kind of our guideposts, if you will, and how we're looking at projects within the city as well as the overall network within Clearwater. So we have measures associated with these 10 guiding principles and how we will judge our projects moving forward. Community health is a big one, as well as social equity. I went over that pretty quickly, but we have 10 or 11% of the city does not own a vehicle, with over 20% having a disability. So this is really kind of a key component of the plan that we'll continue to look at and measure. Real quickly, moving forward, we have street type. What that means is we have neighborhood streets, local streets, collectors, or thoroughfares like State Road 60, and all of them have different street types. And what we're trying to do in the city is really have different designs for these different street types. Land use context is the same, or is important. We shouldn't design streets here in downtown the same way as we will in suburban areas. And then obviously we're continuing to look at plans that are on the books and coordinating with our partners. I know we have Ford Pinellas here tonight. So all this kind of basically look at the city overall. This is a key part of the plan and how we're designing our streets. We've got kind of the different land use contexts that I talked about, urban through suburban, and then we have different street types, and that's really key. I want to hit on that again, that we have neighborhood local streets, local collectors, thoroughfares, and they all have a wide range of designs. So this plan is giving flexibility, and it's kind of that toolbox. But really key is where you are within the city. So again, these are the tools. Here's just an example of where we have tables that essentially look at the different street types, the different land use context, and then really what we're looking at are sidewalk width or lane width or bike facilities. We talked a little bit about really separating our bicycle facilities from the street on some certain roadways like State Road 60, right? Again, key here, we keep hitting on speed. What we're trying to do with this plan, and it's shown in this table here, is really what we're trying to do is have our posted speed, our design speed, and what people drive typically over. Design speed's typically over posted speed, and we're trying to kind of marry those three together so that people drive the posted speed. I'll skip through these. These are examples that we've talked about. Really the key component here we're trying to talk about is road diet's just one component. There's many, many, many different types of complete street improvements out there. That's just one that's out there. La Jolla is one example we talked about, and why we like that is in conjunction with neighborhood traffic circles, the roadway pretty much operates at the same speed, if not better. And economic benefit is really, really key here. You know, retail sales have been shown to increase, and businesses have increased on certain projects. So again, here's just a few flavor of examples. I always like this one, and there's so many areas within Clearwater I still drive around and see. Here's some examples of where we can better utilize some of the space that's out there. To kind of finish up, we've got 25 key actions that are in the plan that are spread into 4 major buckets that are shown here. Really what we think is important first is adopting a complete street policy that kind of runs through what everything the city does. There's a complete street checklist where if you have developers that come in, they're looking at how can they improve their streets. Project delivery and processes, that's really how the city kind of talks together in an interdepartmental review process. Capital improvement projects, that's really looking at, again, what are some of those quick projects that can be done. It doesn't have to be an expensive project. Some of these are just paint or really providing additional barriers here for a bike facility. Again, it's key, this is kind of the wrap-up slide here. We have these guiding principles for with everything that we've identified in actions. It's really about starting with those measures and coming back on an annual basis and looking at how are we performing? Are we getting better? We talk about safety, but again, it's from an economic development standpoint is key. So that's kind of my quick version there, and with that, I'll
Any
take
questions, Council? Mr. Kondo?
I had a question about our plan, and I think it's a great plan, but my concern is there anything in the plan that might conflict with either state or county or Forward Pinellas ideas and some of the evolution of their goals?
Sure, no, this is really consistent. One of the slides I showed, St. Petersburg's adopted a complete street plan, Florida design manual. This is well in line with how DOT is now doing business. And Forward Pinellas with their complete street grants and efforts, this really fits in with what our county partners and state partners are doing.
Anybody? Okay, thank you. No more questions, Council? Anybody from the public to speak to agenda item 10.6?
Move approval of agenda item 10.6.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve agenda item 10.6. Comments, Council? Well, Council, y'all know that I've been struggling over this when we first started talking about complete streets over a year ago. And I'm still not comfortable with what we're trying to do. Complete streets is the in vogue thing to be talking about now. A couple of years ago, we were talking about, streetscaping Cleveland Street. And look what happened. We slowed down the traffic. We didn't think about what happened to the business community in downtown Cleveland Street. We can't even have parades now because we put a median down Cleveland Street. And if we were building a new city, every city that we would build would be a complete street. But we're not building a new city. We're trying to take what we've got and make it something that we don't have. And while I can appreciate mobility, while I can appreciate alternative ways of getting to work or getting to the beach or getting to the supermarket, we're going to use our cars. We're not going to ride a bicycle. Shucks, kids hardly ride a bicycle to school anymore. And I'm just struggling trying to figure out what the right thing to do here is. And I think the right thing, this is going to surprise you, is to vote for this. But to make sure that staff understands that this doesn't mean to destroy our roadways, that this doesn't mean to kill our businesses. We can all say that it's safe. Oh yeah, it's going to be safe. That's the buzzword. But if the driver isn't careful, if the bicyclist isn't careful, if the motorcycle driver isn't careful, then no matter how safe you make and design this, it's not going to work. It's going to be there's going to be an accident, and people are going to get killed anyway. So just be careful going forward. You've reassured me that we're going to look at all, if we do something to one street, how that's going to impact the neighborhood. because it's going to, we don't have east-west corridors in Clearwater. We have 1.5. We have Gulf to Bay, and we have Drew Street. And we're trying to cut Drew Street. We're not going to be able to use Druid because that's a 2-lane road. But that's all I have to say. Motion has been made and seconded to approve agenda item 10.6. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Ms. Call?
Resolution number 19-08, a resolution of the City of Clearwater, Florida, approving the complete streets for Clearwater implementation plan as attached in Exhibit A, providing a foundation for a balanced transportation system that provides people of all ages and abilities with safe, efficient travel options, providing guiding principles to measure success, providing flexible street design guidance based on roadway and land use contexts, providing actions to implement the plan, providing for an effective date.
I move to adopt Resolution 1908.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to adopt Resolution 19-08. Comments, council? Mr. Poglaze.
So I just wanted to say that I try to avoid Drew and Gulf to Bay, and I do use Cleveland as a east-west arterial to get from point A to point B. So it still moves traffic, just not as fast. And I'm with you. I still want to put parades in. So we've made these devices in these roadways so that they are mountable by all safety equipment, by parades, all that stuff. So at some point, I hope we can do a parade somewhere.
Bands don't like walking in medians.
Everybody, you have to adapt. You have to adapt.
But I'm sorry, are you finished?
Yes, thank you.
That's my point on Cleveland Street, okay? If, we put the traffic calming on Cleveland Street to slow the traffic down, to get it off of Cleveland Street. Well, if we do something like that on Drew Street, a lot of that traffic's going to come back on Cleveland Street, and people on Cleveland Street are going to start coming and saying, hey, wait a minute, what have you done to my roadway that was nice and quiet? You've made it a thoroughfare again.
But it'll be comfortable.
Well, that's what staff is going to take into account. Motion has been made and seconded to adopt Resolution 19-08. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Sir, the public comment period had already passed. I apologize. Agenda item 10.7.
Approve the joint participation agreement, JPA G1941, between the City of Clearwater and the State of Florida Department of Transportation, FDOT. Authorize a $15,000 transfer from Air Park Fund reserves. Authorize the appropriate measures to execute same and adopt Resolution 19-12. Mr. Chesney.
Ed Chesney, Marine and Aviation. As we discussed on Monday, this grant will allow for a security office building to be placed at the main entrance gate at the Clearwater Air Park. It'll allow us better control to after-hour access to the air park.
Any questions of staff on agenda item 10.7? Anybody from the public to speak to agenda item 10.7?
Motion approval of agenda item 10.7.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve agenda item 10.7. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Ms. Aiken.
Resolution number 19-12, a resolution of the City of Clearwater, Florida, authorizing the execution of a joint participation agreement between the City of Clearwater and the State of Florida Department of Transportation for installation of a security office at the Clearwater Air Park, providing an effective date.
Motion to adopt Resolution 19-12.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to adopt Resolution 19-12. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Agenda item 10.8. Ms. Call.
Appoint Lisa Tuttle to the Parks and Recreation Board with a term to expire May 31st, 2023. Council members, Ms. Tuttle has just completed her first term, and she is available to be reappointed and is willing to be reappointed.
Questions of staff on agenda item 10.8? Anybody from the public to speak to agenda item 10.8? Motion.
Approval of agenda item 10.8.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve agenda item 10.8. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Agenda item 10.9, Ms. Cole.
Amend City Council rules, Rule 5, duties of Vice Mayor in absence of Mayor, implementing a rotation schedule for the office of the Mayor, for the office of the Vice Mayor, and adopt Resolution 19-19. Council members, in your agenda packet provided a schedule that will begin in next year in 2020 with seat 4 for the office of the Vice Mayor, which will rotate amongst the seats annually in April.
Questions of staff on 10.9? Anybody from the public to speak to agenda item 10.9?
Motion to approve agenda item 10.9.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve agenda item 10.9. Comments, council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Ms. Call.
Resolution number 19-19, a resolution of the City of Clearwater, Florida, amending council rules, providing an effective date.
Motion.
Motion to adopt Resolution 19-19.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to adopt Resolution 19-19. Comments, council? Council, thank you very much. I think that's going to make it a whole lot easier for everybody down the road. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Agenda item 10.10, Mr. Horn.
Authorize an amendment to the original agreement with HRNA Advisors of New York, in an amount not to exceed $100,000 for Phase 1. The amount for time and materials only to review submitted proposals as needed for Phase 2, as additional consulting services for Imagine Clearwater, and authorize the appropriate officials to execute same. Mr. Dell.
Mayor, Council, Michael Delp, Interim Assistant City Manager. This proposed scope that we're asking you to approve tonight is directly related to our expressed intention, and I believe your desire to try to get a request for proposals for our Harborview site into the marketplace as quickly as we can do that. There's a fair amount of expertise involved in, I think, trying to do this properly and having some outside support, particularly with regard to the economic analysis of the models that we want to put out there for developers to respond to, and our ability to successfully and thoroughly evaluate those is an area that we think is very important to our chances to be successful. I don't need to tell you that we have several $1 million worth of real estate along the bluff. That's a lot of investment potential for us and a big stake for us. One of the things I'd like to say about this proposed scope, about 50% of it that's before you is really to update the economics of our properties in downtown and the market, if you will. And I think that's necessary for us and justified, because the economic analysis and the things that went into the basis of our Imagine Clearwater plan that we've already expended a lot of dollars, as you're well aware, to implement is now about 3 years old. I mean, the background analysis and the economics and the market basis that went into Imagine Clearwater was probably performed by HRNA somewhere in the middle of 2016 as we prepared to go finalize the plan and the stakeholder meetings and get it to you on February 21st of 2017. So this is a key component of this project, is to update that market analysis. And then just a few of the things that they're going to provide us some support for is the creation of a single request for proposals to get that on the street. I would add that we can use that as a model for the balance of the properties if we so choose to move in that direction. They will help us to develop a referendum strategy based on our goals and objectives for the use of these properties. They will assist us in the targeting of specific developers who are qualified developers that perform this kind of development that we're targeting in the Bluff redevelopment. They will help us generate key business terms advise on presentation of these materials and the best way we can go about marketing them. They will help and assist us later on when we start receiving applications with the due diligence, with assessing the respondents' agreements and their proposals. They will facilitate drafting for us a scoring matrix in order to evaluate these proposals, and to including shortlisting and interviewing those proposals that we get. So in conclusion, I think this will help us put our best foot forward on getting these very important properties out there in the marketplace, and do that in a very competent and professional way. It will include some architectural services that we're going to route through our existing scope and contract with Stantec. So we'll actually be bringing you a work order amendment for that in the near future. And the good news in all that is that with your approval tonight, we can get this work underway in a very expeditious way, which I think we all would like to see happen. So I'll try to answer any questions about the scope and the work if the council has any. Otherwise, we would recommend your approval. And
Mr. Albrecht.
Mr. Dilk, if we approve this tonight, can you give me a time frame on when the economic study would be done, and also when we'd be ready to put the RFP out?
This timeline, they're going to perform the economic analysis and update our existing, the Imagine Clearwater in the first 60 days.
First 60, okay.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Mr. Puglace.
The economic analysis within the first 60 days. The second part of his question, when might the RFP be ready to go out?
RFP document development in about 4 months, so going into late summer, fall.
I had a question. You said additional service and architectural work.
Yes.
Is this would this be part of the scope for the architectural review of City Hall in North Ward, or no? Totally different.
What they'll do is I've talked to Kerry and asked them to take a look at the City Hall building. I mean, he's aware of what our intentions have been with taking it down and that sort of thing. And he and I have chatted a little bit about wanting to find out if there's any adaptive reuse for that property, and also what the economic development potential of that may be, because we've still got a rather large construction site available to us out in the parking lot without touching the building. So he's going to take a look at that, and that'll be part of it. The architectural services are going to help. There's going to be multiple renderings, I would expect, for most, if not all, of these 3 parcels. And what they'll do is to, once they kind of establish what is market feasible in terms of the economics of it, we will work with Stantec and the architects with their firm to develop some actual representations of what those scenarios may look like. When we go to market with the RFP proposal, we want people to have no misunderstandings about what it is our market objectives are for these parcels. That doesn't mean that they're married to it, that they have to perform it exactly that way, but we want our vision to be as abundantly clear as we can make it.
Right. Well, to follow up, if I may, I like the fact that this initial strategy to get the RFP out first sets the template for all the other sites. So for me, the City Hall site is the most attractive site for development. I'll tell you why. And not just the parking lot to the east, but the actual City Hall site. Because if you look to the building to the south, 6-7 stories, there's no height restriction. So we can go 40, 50 stories. The prime site, if you look at the site, the old CMA property, that site, those first 12 floors obstructed view. So the number 1 site for redevelopment is the City Hall site. So if he's going, I'd kind of like to know what the cost, because at some point we had all talked about, yes, demolishing the City Hall, but it's let the developer do it, when and where and how. So I'd like to kind of have an idea what the cost would be for those architectural reviews out of that $100,000 additional. I mean, if they're going to do it as a courtesy and it's part of it, but if that's a $20,000, $30,000 price tag for the architectural review of City Hall, when we've all talked about coming down some point, because that is the number one redevelopment site, because we can only go 60, 70 feet at the Harborview site because of existing library. So I'm really laser focused on that site.
I think our consultant team is indicating to us that probably the number one site we should be looking at right now in the near term is the Harborview site.
Agreed.
And you may, I mean, I understand your position may differ from that.
Well, generating the most.
But I will say this about the architecture. The architecture is not included in the $100,000 for the phase, the initial phase of this development. That's going to come through Stantec under our existing contracted scope of services for Stantec, which was to provide us architectural services.
Right.
So one of the ways that we've talked about that they're going to do that is they're going to provide us architectural services on all the structures in the park. Right? Okay. We've had a couple of conversations about that in detail in the last couple of weeks. What this is going to do is going to put them to work again on providing architectural support services to our economic analysis on these three main parcels along the bluff.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Kondo.
Mr. Delk, is it your opinion that having HR, I was going to say H&R Block, HRA, do this work for us and with us, that it will speed up the process of analyzing how much the property is now worth and getting the RFP out to the public?
Yes, it'll do two things. I think it'll speed up the process and it'll make it a better product. There are certain things that we have expertise, we pay to keep expertise on staff in. I mean, we have legal staff, we have groups of planners, we have all that. The development of RFPs or requests for proposals for marketing millions of dollars worth of real estate, doing the pro formas, doing the economic analysis of that viability, I think those are things that we, to a large extent don't necessarily want or intend to keep as our own resources. So this is an area where I think we're in a much better position to react to that and evaluate people when we've got expertise to help us develop those resources in the RFP. So yes, I think it both will make it more expedient and it will also make it a better product.
And it looks, if I may ask one more question, it looks like the timeline, even through an anticipated phase 2, which is negotiation and transaction, is less than a year, about 10 months or so.
10 months to go to ultimately, potentially negotiation and transaction support, which would be the final step of really entering into a deal. Somewhere in there, obviously, what our objectives are was talked about preparing for a referendum. We've chatted a little bit about whether really March is the smart time to have that, or maybe August for various reasons, which you all are aware of. Just the elections and all that sort of thing might be a better target for us. But regardless, somewhere in there, they're going to assist us in preparing referendum language. And so I think that's another area where, we've got to be very careful and judicious about how we present this.
Did you mean August 2020?
Yes.
Okay. Council, Mr. Delk, I don't know, do you have where you could put this timeline so that the public can see what you're talking about on? Because even at 5 months, you're looking at the end of the year as opposed to late summer. Yeah, there you go. And I want us to concentrate on those first 4 tasks, because that's where the $100,000 is going to. And then remind us that any extension of the schedule beyond an additional month may result in additional fees to the city on a time and material basis. And that could get very expensive, Council, because they bill us anywhere from $100 to $525 an hour for their work. Right, Mr. Delk?
Yeah, I think the time and materials basically in phase 2.
But if we go beyond...
true, in the first phase.
In the first phase, if we extend it any, if we delay it
That's correct. Their assumptions in the matrix assumes X number of hours for each task.
Yeah.
So if we push them beyond that, then they'll bill us at time and materials.
Yeah.
If we get into phase two, that'll be strictly time and materials. But in phase two, by and large, they're going to be assisting us as we call upon them to do so.
Yeah.
So that'll be based on our own comfort level and what specific questions we may have of them in evaluation of any proposals that we get and the economic viability of those.
But in response to Mr. Albritton's question, I thought you said late summer, and I don't see anything here that leads me to believe that this is going to be finished in late summer.
No, I think someone asked me when their economic analysis was going to be done, and I think in the economic analysis, they're showing months 1 and 2.
Oh, okay.
For the market scan and feasibility. So the market scan component, which if you look at the dollar amount, is about 50% of this is the economics.
Okay, very good. Any other questions? Anybody from the public to speak to agenda item 10.10?
Move approval of agenda item 10.10.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve agenda item 10.10. Comments, council? Again, Mr. Dell, thank you for your perseverance on this. And I was talking to the library director when we were over there, when we were here earlier this afternoon, and she's all excited about getting to work on that aspect of the.
She has a great project.
Yeah, so. Motion's been made and seconded to approve agenda item 10.10. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Horn, do you have any other business for council?
No, Mayor, I do not.
Ms. Aiken, do you?
No, sir.
Closing comments, Mr. Albritton.
Well, I'm just happy that we're moving forward and we have a lot of balls in the air on Imagine Clearwater and the Bluff. Mr. Delk's been working hard on getting all the remodeling for the library, as well as also the lighting for the bridge, and also trying to dig out of a hole that we've been in for a couple of years, combining phases and moving things forward. So I appreciate that. I think we're really starting to see some things happening on the down in the park, and that's a good thing.
Mr. Poglace.
Thank you, Mayor. I received yesterday a copy of the Shared Government Center between Pinellas County and the City of Clearwater. It is a detailed, very long, large document, but I'm excited to have it. I'm excited to review the data and look at it. I think it makes sense to work with the county to be able to consolidate, make efficiencies, cost share, because like the city's building, county buildings are aging out and require a lot of additional infrastructure. So I look forward to negotiations, discussions, and further explanation of that Shared Government Feasibility Center. Thank you.
Mr. Kondo.
Yes, I'd like to talk for just a minute about Keep America Beautiful. I didn't say Keep America Great, but Keep America Beautiful, which is an organization, a movement that's been around since 1953 to help make our country beautiful and more beautiful. Keep Pinellas Beautiful is a subcategory of that, and I was at a nice banquet last week of Keep Pinellas Beautiful, and saw a lot of awards given out and recognition, and I wanted to let you know what Clearwater has done in this past year, 2018, to help impact the county to make it and to keep it more beautiful. I think there's a slide here. We had 99 events of cleanup and beautification. I've mentioned a number of times how much I appreciate the volunteers here in Keep Pinellas Beautiful, Keep Clearwater Beautiful. 1,741 volunteers last year who removed 10,419 pounds of trash, 25 pounds of invasive vegetation, 16 events of education and outreach, a total of 3,583 volunteer hours, saving more than $80,000. So thanks to Solid Waste and all of the volunteers, really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
On behalf of the council, let me congratulate Susan Crockett, who is the new head of Ruth Eckerd Hall now, and we're looking forward to working with her and having her take over the realms of Ruth Eckerd Hall. And also know before, recently they got some funding that makes them really a very special and unique category. So that's a company located here in downtown Clearwater that we can be very proud of. And also on Saturday, most of us in council participated in the South Ward Museum opening, and that's another ideal situation for all of us. And appreciate the work of the volunteers of the Clearwater Historical Society, and would encourage people to consider supporting that organization. Let me remind you that on Saturday the 28th, we're hearing a lot of conversation about the Warrior Games in Tampa, where wounded veterans are participating in really like a Special Olympics event. Well, part of that Warrior Games is going to be at Clearwater's own Long Center of the swimming events on Saturday, and it's free, it's open to the public, and we would encourage you to go support our veterans and armed services members who have been wounded in service of their country and now competing in these games. Also, again, on behalf of all of us, thank our student athletes who were recognized by the City Parks and Rec Department of the city in Clearwater for Youth. Tomorrow, Friday the 21st, and really throughout the week, we obviously continue to have everyday events on Pier 60 Park and sunsets at Pier 60. On Saturday the 22nd is the inaugural Art and Technology Showcase at our Second Century Studios here in downtown Clearwater. That afternoon and early evening, our fire department and police department will be participating in a first responders night at Spectrum Field. Once again, another example of how the Phillies and the Clearwater Threshers support our community and different organizations throughout the city and county. As Mr. Gloucester had indicated earlier, on the 26th, which is Wednesday, we're having our free electronics collection and recycling event at the solid waste facility. We will be soon celebrating the 4th of July on July the 4th, and here in Clearwater we probably do have the best fireworks in the entire Tampa Bay area. And in fact, it was, the problems that some of our other neighboring communities have had, we haven't had here in Clearwater. Now they're borrowing, I think, some of our ideas, but Clearwater and Coachman Park is the place to be on the 4th of July as we celebrate America, not only with fireworks, but also a concert with the Coachman Parks Orchestra. Remind everybody that there will be a block party on July the 13th on Cleveland Street, and because of the 4th of July holiday and our schedules, our next meeting will be on July the 15th for the work session, and our next city council meeting will be on July the 18th. Have a good rest of the summer. Thank you, council members. Thank you for spending part of your time with us this evening. We are adjourned.